Hey. Good morning and welcome to OptionPit.com. I'm Andrew Giovinazzi, Chief Operating Officer of said company. Welcoming you to our morning volatility report. Remember, any concepts in our videos or for educational purposes only, anything we say or do should be considered education. Options have risks, so consult your financial advisor before trading. Right? Option trading is your responsibility alone. And look at Tesla. So we got I think there's a couple things. I think there's a little bit of fallout over the health spending bill or the failed healthcare bill. Mostly is the I don't know question. So before we get to Tesla in a second, well, it's just going up. I think there's a little bit of a squeeze, but the options aren't really showing squeeze pricing. So maybe the Solar City purchase was the bargain of the century. It certainly looks like that for right now. As far as the broader indexes go, I think we're stuck in a mode of looking for a reason to rally. We had sort of the Trump rally after the inauguration. It seems that since they couldn't quite put a deal together relatively early, he's had kind of his first legislative setback, first try, and it was kicked back. So part of the rally that was kind of on all that is gone. So what we have real simply here is, let's go 5-day chart. Let's just look at two things. Right? One is you had a pretty good drop in the SPX on Monday. On the opening, everybody was a little worried, and it was quickly followed by a rally because not much. The reality, I think it sunk in. I think there's a little bit of algo action, but nothing really changed. We actually traded through some lows. Nothing really changed. That's the bottom line. Congress is still Congress, and let's see what happens if they keep trying to push the agenda. However, the things that what you really want to see. Now notice this is volatility in a couple different terms. The May was pretty constant. We had stocks were just kind of going sideways a little bit, waiting for the healthcare thing of last week. We had a little bit of action. That May term didn't do much. Remember, we still think this is partially due to the French elections, but that's starting to wane as a factor. But the one thing you want to see is, when that near-term vol really drops, that is the market expecting less short-term volatility. So we had a little backwardation yesterday. We dropped out of that quickly in the VIX, not quite back on the opening, slightly backward. We're backward for a couple terms. We dropped out of it relatively fast, and then implied volatility for the term for April, right, which is there's still solid trading, basically erased all the week's gains. So again, I think that's significant. Anytime you have a volatility, short term was rising from an event. It was that vote was kind of an event. Every once in a while, the government tries to do big things. It generates some volatility in the market. And we got total annihilation of all that juice. It's gone. Even the vol we had from last week, we're now trading at a lower level. Today, looking at the SPX, okay, index slightly down, and I believe when I looked the last time, the VIX is slightly down. Okay, both of those things that is the air getting sucked out of the volatility in the mid to short term. VIX volatility already responding. If there's something that's going to happen in May, it's a darn surprise to me, because right now your VIX vol at 77 is about as low as it can be, to be honest. So let's take one look at right, now take a look here. Since I can type the right stuff. Now let's get rid of that 20-day again. Notice that 20-day vol, the blue line, not much is happening. It did. We had that little burst gone. Here are the levels we were, and it's possible that we get back there. Mid to low 11s. Again, we had a little lift in vol, but still, let's get the scale here. It's not at the dead bottom, but it's certainly it's increasing a little lower today. So interesting trades we're going to look at are in the chat room today, buying May and trying to trade the April short term in front of it. I think the May is really cheap relative. It has about the May ordinary contract is about $2 over parity. It should be more like $3. So that to me still means that they're expecting VIX to kind of get down to the 11s at some point. I don't expect the May to drift too far from the 14 handle in the future, which would give the May some time to sit. But we could see a little bit more action here in the April, even though it's only 13.5. Realized vol is still only about 9%, 8% in the S&P 500. So again, Congress isn't going to do anything next week or the week after. The only shock we really could get was something maybe about that Russian investigation, a bombshell comes out, something, who knows, I don't know. Could happen, which means maybe owning some slightly longer terms okay, but you're going to have to be aggressive financing. Other trades I like with the upside, I still think the market can rally, just not with the steam that it did before. So in SPX, I like butterflies and I like iron condors. They were pricing decently yesterday. We'll take another look at them today. And with that, that is our vol report from the day. If you have questions, look at our new masterclass coming out. It seems like people liked our last vol class. Go to optionpit.com, and soon on the events page, you will see that coming up. Also, if you have any interest to our option pit wheel, Mark writes a wheel trade once a week. So far, I think he's 2 for 2. And he just wrote the JPM puts yesterday, maybe 3 for 3. And we'll take a look at Tesla. This is where I don't know why, but it certainly feels like it's being moved by, the headline news is out on it, and it's still rising. So maybe that squeeze action could produce a little bit more, volatility. But Tesla's moving more like around a 40 vol lately, and the options are still pricing the mid-30s. Not as cheap as it's been, but I think there could be some opportunity there. We can look at some pricing today. All right. I think as low as the vol is, I think upside time spreads will look okay, and then see what the cost of protection is. All right, everybody, have a good day, and I will see you all in our chat room shortly.